Imagine stepping outside tonight with no coat, no heated room, and no guarantee the fire will survive until morning. The wind cuts across a treeless plain. Food is frozen, predators are hungry, and one wet boot could become a death sentence. You would probably assume ancient humans survived the Ice Age because their bodies were tougher. They were not. Compared with mammoths, reindeer, and even Neanderthals, Homo sapiens arrived with embarrassing equipment, thin skin, little body hair, and babies requiring years of care. Their real adaptation was not fur. It was cooperation turned into technology. Fire mattered, obviously, but fire alone does not explain survival. A flame cannot hunt, so remember migration routes or keep watch while you sleep. Ice Age landscapes were not permanently white. They shifted between bitter steppe, patchy forests, drought, and sudden warming. Surviving one climate was not enough. Humans had to survive instability. In 2024, researchers studying the Ilsenhöhle cave at Ranis, Germany, identified Homo sapiens living in a cold steppe roughly 45,000 years ago. Animal remains and isotopes showed subarctic conditions. These were not people waiting somewhere comfortable for the weather to improve. They entered the cold itself. Clothing was part of the answer. A 2011 genetics study led by David Reed used clothing lice to estimate that regularly worn garments may have appeared around 170,000 years ago. Lice are not glamorous archaeological witnesses, but they preserve what leather and fur usually cannot: a biological trace of humans creating portable warmth. Then came shelters. In 2020, Alexander Pryor and colleagues described a mammoth bone structure at Kostenki Levin in Russia, built about 25,000 years ago from dozens of mammoths. Its exact purpose remains uncertain. It may not have been a permanent house. It could have been a temporary shelter, storage place, ritual space, or some combination. That uncertainty matters. Maybe these discoveries only prove clever individuals adapted locally. Maybe there was no grand survival strategy, just scattered groups improvising under pressure. That is possible. Archaeology preserves fragments, not conversations, and most fur, rope, baskets, and wooden tools vanished long ago. But improvisation itself had to be taught. The simple story says hunters killed giant animals, ate the meat, wore the hides, and burned the bones. Practical, brutal, efficient. But mammoths were dangerous, wood could be scarce, and transporting enormous bones required planning. Survival depended on knowledge shared across generations: where herds moved, which plants still grew, how to shape needles, preserve fat, divide food, and care for injured people. So how did your ancestors survive the Ice Age? Not by defeating winter alone. They survived by making sure nobody had to face it alone.